7 News, WKOW. Here's what's happening right now.
I'm not surprised that it happened.
Sharing the road, a local farmer shares his concerns after a crash with farm equipment kills 3 people.
And dense fog for parts of the southern Wisconsin area. We'll let you know who's mainly impacted coming up in just a few minutes.
Another win for the Badgers. This time they're on the road tonight. Hear from the players after their 9th win of the season.
We've got you covered. This is 27 News at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jennifer Cleasy. 3 people are dead after an SUV and a farm combine crashed near Lake Mills in Jefferson County last night. Authorities have not said whether the people killed were in the SUV or driving the farm equipment, and they have not said how the two collided. New tonight at 10, David Johnson spoke with a farmer about concerns over safety while sharing the roads during this busy time of year for farmers.
Almost hit somebody.
That's Johnson Creek farmer Steve Dewey recalling a dangerous incident while driving his tractor.
They decided they would run the stop sign, and fortunately I was able to slow down and get stopped before impact occurred.
So he wasn't surprised to hear about the deadly crash Friday night between a farming combine and an SUV that killed 3 people. While the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office hasn't said how the crash happened or who died, Dewey wants drivers to be more aware of farm machinery.
Combines and most farm equipment is slower moving on the highways, and sometimes people take chances trying to get around it, trying to pass it, or do things where it's not safe.
From rolling hills to winding roads, a farmer with heavy machinery can be just around the corner or over the next hill. So it's imperative to drive with caution in these high-risk areas.
The equipment is wide and does take up much more than half the road because they're narrow to start with. So people have to be extra careful on those roads.
He says farmers and drivers all share responsibility for safety on our roadways.
We can't be operating over the center line, going down the road with oncoming traffic and things like that.
In Jefferson County, David Johnson, 27 News.
Dewey says he wants to remind people it's illegal to pass farm machinery in a no-passing zone. He feels there should be more public awareness about how to share the road with farm equipment.
Well, the dreary day turns into a pretty gloomy night with fog starting to thicken in around the region. Here's a live look from the Constellation Building overlooking East Wash and the Capitol. And you can see the lights of the Capitol actually cascading off of those very low-lying clouds, and they'll continue to lower through the night. So you can see that Madison's down to 2 miles visibility as winds have gone calm and humidity continues to climb. We're at 44 degrees. Where are we going to see the thickest fog? Well, we have dense fog advisories as issued by the National Weather Service south and east of Dane County. So if you're in any of those grayed out counties, you're going to be seeing the thickest fog, potentially a quarter-mile visibility or less, late tonight till 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So generally while many of us are asleep, but if you are heading out later tonight, again, that's what you can expect out on the open roads. Temperatures actually a degree warmer than our daytime high. We're at 44 in Madison, 45 in Middleton. And temps will be pretty steady overnight because of the thick clouds and the fact that the air is pretty thick with the moisture. So numbers not going to dip too much lower than the low to mid 40s. And then we continue to watch for more of a seasonable trend as we head towards our Sunday. Tomorrow looking like the warmest of the next 7, so we'll talk about that coming up here in a few minutes.
All right, and we'll be careful tonight on the roads. Thank you, Max. Tomorrow is a big day for runners in New York City. The city is stepping up security ahead of its marathon, which starts early tomorrow morning. At a press conference today, officials said thousands of extra police officers will be out on the streets, along with triple the number of National Guard members citywide.
We're going to double the state police, double the Port Authority police, MTA police, and the MTA bridge and tunnel personnel will also be increased to make sure that we have a safe weekend.
The marathon comes just days after a terrorist attack in Manhattan left 8 people dead and more than a dozen others hurt. Demonstrators took to the streets in almost 24 cities across the country today, calling for the removal of President Trump and Vice President Mike Pence. The president arrived, meanwhile, in Japan about an hour and a half ago for his diplomatic tour of Asia. He has not responded to these demonstrations. Republicans are on a fast track to try to pass a new tax reform bill before Christmas, but some opponents are critical of the quick timeline, including Senator Tammy Baldwin. The Democrat hosted an event in Racine this afternoon to discuss the new tax bill. She says the plan is rigged for the wealthy and ignores everyone else.
This is a tax plan that favors the behemoths, the multinationals, not the entrepreneur down the block.
Meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence is in Pennsylvania promoting the tax reform bill, praising the benefits for working families.
First $24,000 in income for working families in America will be completely tax-free.
Experts say the question is whether the tax reform whether the changes will actually help and increase wages for the average household. Governor Scott Walker has issued an executive order to remove restrictions on transporting propane in the state. This comes in response to shortages because of a Rockford terminal that was closed. The governor says removing hours of service requirements will cut wait times and backups to get propane moving through the state. The Wisconsin football team has matched the best start to a season in school history. Al Gosmus tells us tonight how the Badgers improved to 9-0 in Bloomington, Indiana today.
The Badgers haven't played here in Bloomington since 2012, and today was far from that 80,000-plus fan atmosphere that they're used to. But Wisconsin still came to play, going on a 45-7 scoring run over the span of 3 quarters and a 45-17 win.
I thought guys just, particularly Alex, just kind of kept his poise and kept playing, and certainly the takeaways were a big part of the game. And I thought defense did a heck of a job.
I'm not sure. There were a few things that were, we felt like we were playing well, but there were a couple of things, whether it's a penalty or a bad play, bad break, we couldn't move as fast as we wanted to in the beginning.
Definitely was a confidence builder, but just a spark, though. You know, we wanted to come out and we wanted to set the tone, so that was the main idea, is just coming out and setting the tone.
Now, today's win marks the Badgers' 10th straight against the Hoosiers. It was also Wisconsin's 9th straight this season. We'll take a look at a few defensive turning points in this game coming up in sports. In Bloomington, Indiana, Alec Gosmus, 27 News.
Still ahead tonight at 10, this car crashes into the side of a building. We'll tell you how this happened. And clinic protests why a group of demonstrators were dressed as handmade characters in Madison today, protesting a group of clinics.